discovering, this whole long history totally changed me. How I walk, how I talk, who I am, what I do, just my whole sense of empowerment and strength.
The SSC recently opened 8 new collections that bring the lessons of women's history to bear on issues today. They contain the papers of activists and grassroots organizations whose struggles for peace, socialism, racial justice, women's equality, labor, and welfare rights span the 20th century. One, whose work is ongoing, is the National Congress of Neighborhood Women.
The National Congress of Neighborhood Women is an autonomous network, so you have women that are involved in public housing tenant associations. You can have rural women in Appalachia involved in land trusts, the farm, economic development. We're the women that are implementing those rights and issues that the women's movement is talking about.
To me, the greatest value is the kind of grassroots record. I get personal letters that are themselves a populist history of the movement. It's the individual populist people's history aspect of it that I hope will survive.
The fact that Smith was really working with poor and working class women and has had this constantly fostered relationship with grassroots women made me feel that our work would be treated properly.
Processing a collection is extremely labor intensive. For example, the 8 new collections that we just opened occupied 570 linear feet. That's 1/10 of a mile. And to process that, it took about 9 staff years.
I know, and I'd meet all these people, walk up and say, I worked on your files, and I'd be like there's a whole new relationship of young women saying, and you could see that they were excited about some of it, and that means they got it.
And if you want to, you can grab the stuff now or later, and it's in a folder to put everything in.
The SSC celebrated the opening of these new collections with a major conference. For 2 days, donors shared their experiences with scholars and exchanged concerns with the next generation of feminists.
Welfare reform. I think that the new welfare regime is an attack on women. It's an attack.
So I think we can draw a large political coalition that allows us to attribute an economic value to caregiving and really to begin to redefine work, not just to gain equality in what has been defined as work.
But what people are looking for is a whole new way of doing things. And it means that women that are going into the university and college system or academics that are teaching it have to re-look at how they're partnering with women, poor women.
Why aren't more young people involved and active and feeling empowered? And what can we do to encourage us all to do more, show up more, feel less fear, and take a stand?
We couldn't do any of this if people like Frances, Jan, Gloria, and all the others hadn't given us their papers so that people forever can learn these stories and make their activism more effective.
Knowing the history shows what's possible. It also shows things we've tried before that didn't work, we can now try again. And I'm constantly fascinated. I learned about Victoria Woodhull, who would run for president. I never knew that. And it makes the possibility of a woman running for president seem a little less daunting because somebody was brave enough to try it over 100 years ago.